Right, hello everybody and welcome to the Comb Racing League. Today we are here for Tier 2 Round 5 and currently we are suffering a little bit of delays as we are racing with hopefully our first PC player in this tier, so everyone's still getting used to how all that works. We'll hopefully have Mr. BT joining me in the commentary box, although that's yet to be fully confirmed. So, mic issues on his end. For the moment, sit tight and hopefully we'll be racing fairly soon. Ah, is that a Mr. BT? Yes. Cannot yet hear you. Yeah, if you have spoken, I can't hear you yet. Oh. Alright, so it seems at the moment BT not yet got his mic working. I think he's trying to sort whatever that is, but he's in the call, so hopefully he'll join. Talking alongside me soon. He is at the very least in the racing lobby. But the driver's not yet given the go ahead to ready up, so we're still waiting on a few more before we get started. In fact, in the meantime we can have a look at the track preview. See times. The fastest pole lap we've seen in CRL, a 1:25.9, so by Ferg, way back in season 4. Actually 4-star Tier 2's winner last season. That was the previous game, I think. Yeah, 4-star is still in this tier. I always forget who moves around where. A 4-star is still happily in this tier. I think he's sitting around about in the midfield. Currently, yeah, P8 in the championship. So not doing too bad, but not right up with the front runners. Interesting. Mr. BT saying he couldn't hear me. Oh, what have I missed? Everyone's leaving the lobby.
Right, I can't hear you, but could you hear me?
I can now hear you. Can you hear me now or not? Right.
Yeah, I listened on the stream, but sorry if I'm talking over you, mate. I can't hear you for whatever reason. But I wasn't speaking before. Let me just have a look, please.
This will be an interesting one then. So it sounds like Mr. BT cannot hear me. Right. Right, so they are doing a new lobby. Seems that they were unable to get crossplay working as there were just too many issues, so they are opting to just go PlayStation until there's a patch to make it a little bit easier, which is a shame at the moment. I think we've got about 15-16 drivers. You can see here round 5 of 15. So still plenty of the season to go, only 4 rounds down so far.
Hello, I can hear you now.
Ah, you can hear me, perfect. That'll make this a lot easier.
Yeah, sorry, for some reason I had my output volume turned all the way down in settings, but we're all sorted now.
Alright, nice, perfect. Yeah, have you got into the new lobby or not? So they've opted to not do cross-platform.
I'm just trying to get in now. I don't think I have a second invite. Let me just have a little look.
Are you in the group where they stick the kind of group ones?
I've only got an individual invite from Cole Paradox, so I'll message him now and ask for one.
Alright, so while we are waiting, I will stick up the standings and results from last race. I can hear a slight echo coming through your mic.
Sorry, I don't have headphones, so that fit into this or AirPods. So is that any better? I'll just have my volume down a little bit.
I can't hear myself now, so yeah, sounds like it is working a little bit better. But yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
it is working fine now. So.
Okay, perfect. Just let me know. I might turn it up a bit because it's a bit of a struggle to hear you, but if it gets problematic, just let me know and I will turn it up.
Yeah, we'll do. So, back to the standings, you can see Leo was leading the standings, although he has now been promoted to Tier 1, which puts McOney leading the championship. The seat was taken... Who was the seat taken by? Nolsey, I think, got the AlphaTauri seat, replacing Leo, who was leading the championship.
Yep. Yeah, Leo very dominant in the last few races. I believe he won 2 or 3 of them. I haven't been contacting this day, so you have to give me the lowdown a bit.
Pretty sure Leo won 3. I think he won round 1,
Yeah.
round 2,
Yes.
and then round 4. So completely dominating.
Remember, he DNF'd in round 3. I remember tweeting about it. But otherwise, yeah, he's been completely dominant.
Yeah, so people to watch out for him. McOney, I wouldn't say he's the fastest here, but he just kept his head down and kept getting results.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, P4 last week, the week before he had P2, got on the podium, P2 the week before that, and where was he week 1? I can't see his name on here.
Well, I think he won his... I don't know if he's won this season, but he's had 2 nominations for Driver of the Day. Last time was a really impressive outing in Monza. He went all the way from P16 to P4, so yeah, maybe not the fastest on broad pace, but definitely got a bit of know-how. Of course, McOney's been here for a long time, so seems to know his way around the
oh yeah,
track
absolutely. But yeah, I think the person to watch out for today is Liam. I'd say it's safe to say he might be the fastest driver on the grid now. I think he's had a few issues with his controls or pads or whatnot, but he's still performing really well. Carl as well, he's another fast one.
Yeah. Is this Cross Liam from ERO?
Yes, yeah.
Yes. I've raced him a fair few times. He's definitely got some pace to him. Just also to know, I didn't know he was racing today, but QRT Liam Carrag's here in the Alpine, and I know he was definitely a Tier 1 driver. I think he might have turned some assists off possibly to get himself more into the mould for this tier, but yeah, he's definitely one to watch because I know he's got a lot of pace to him, does Liam. So yeah, battle of the Liams today, or global Knights of anything, of course, Tier 2, known for being very close, always here.
Okay, so looking like we are only going to have 18 drivers. I think we are missing a few reserves, but not too many. Because yeah, a load of drivers. There were 9 absences today. Although I don't think all the people who put down an absence are actually a full-time driver. And then we had Freefall reminded himself that he had a quali ban, which was don't know if you saw that, but drivers are always given a reminder if they have a quali ban to serve, and it's Freefall's job to remind them, so he made sure to remind himself that he had a quali ban.
Yeah, just looked at it. It's brilliant. Classic.
At the moment, just waiting for the admins to give the go-ahead. I'm pretty sure we have everyone we're expecting now. Maybe 1 or 2 reserves. So we can have a look at the constructors. See AlphaTauri completely curb stomping at the moment. 136 points clear of all the other 9 teams. So a huge lead there. And actually, yeah, it's the AlphaTauri Tier 4 team doing the strongest of any driver pairing across all 4 tiers. Who's our strongest in our tier? We've got the AlphaTauri, the only one that's actually over 100. The points very evenly split, it seems. There's no real big hitters and there's no one with tiny scores. Certainly no one beneath 20. You've got Red Bull and Alfa Romeo lacking a little bit behind, but no one doing too badly. The drivers have now been given the go-ahead to ready up. So we'll soon hop on board for the short qualifying, which it looks like we've got 18 drivers in the end. Oh, actually, Cal Cohen's reserving. No, he'll be one to watch.
Oh yeah, Cal Cohen. I remember him. He was
He
very fast. He won drive a couple of seasons ago. Very fast here, I think.
Yeah, it was last season where the only reason he basically didn't win the championship was just because he had to keep missing races. If he'd attended every race, championship would have been his easy. So he has that consistency, he has that pace. So he will without doubt be one to keep an eye on. So actually I'm not sure out of Cal Cohen and Liam who I would call as the winner here. Just as a kind of preemptive guess. Who would you put your vote on?
Oh, who I think will win here?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know because I mean instinctively I'd say Liam because Liam Carrag because I raced with him a lot and I know how fast he is, but I don't really know the circumstance behind him being there and it is wet. Oh, that definitely throws.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. I'm in the lobby now. I can just see, and it looks quite light drizzle. Sky's not too dry, so it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. But definitely for now, it's certainly into conditions. Just going to check. Yep. And Four Stars already checked the wets. He's got them on his tyres collection. So
yeah, I'm stuck in a please wait screen at the moment, so hopefully that clears itself up.
Clears itself up. Yeah.
A please wait screen at the moment, so hopefully that hope itself up. Oh, can hear myself back. I assume you're playing.
Yeah, sorry, absolutely not.
I may have to leave the lobby or restart my game if it doesn't clear itself up.
We've got someone coming out the pits, so I think.
Yeah, I'm going to restart my game quick.
Yeah, I'll just set you in another invite really quickly.
Right, I'll stick it back in the car now.
Actually, I'll just talk over the what's going on for everyone while you get in. That's all good.
Yep.
We just have the first car out, Liam Carrag in the Alpine. Do you need another invite, by the way, Jonathan?
No, it'll be good to use the one from the group. So continue.
Cool. So yeah, Liam's just out. He's quite far ahead. We've got Four Star who's actually going out on the outlap on the wet. So maybe the track a bit wetter than we might expect. Although, actually on the MFD it says he's got wets on, but the graphic is displaying into suggesting that the lobby might be glitched. So we'll wait and see how that develops. But yeah, we've got a few cars coming out now tentatively. Liam's quite far ahead, so he'll be setting his lap first, I imagine.
Yeah, and I know the Freefall, actually, I spoke to him. Actually, I don't know if it was by message or last week, but he said he really likes this track. So it's such a shame that he's got a qualifying ban for it. Because last race he managed to pick himself up 2 qualifying bans.
Yeah.
One of which was them being naughty and getting caught on the stream, and another one was blocking another driver on their lap.
Yeah. The only admin in the tier, of course, I believe. One of the few admins in the tier, but yeah, setting the standards pretty high, leading by example as we expect from Scott, who's on his outlap now. But yeah, I'll just talk for you guys through QRT Liam Carrag's lap as he gets a little slide coming out of the final corner and slides again. Oh, and he's really nearly lost the car, but Liam has managed to keep it in a straight line coming down the main straight here. Gonna turn in, brakes quite late, he brakes very late, and yeah, it looks like Liam isn't really using that racing line. He looks slightly uncomfortable on the track. Of course, wet conditions will put what he's learnt and practiced in the bin somewhat. Just let me know if you can't get in now, mate. Oh, and Liam's really struggling, and he's going to have to abort his lap. He's well in the gravel, so we're going to switch to, I believe Captain Nick now is the next on a lap. See if he fares slightly more successfully than Liam here.
Ah, right, I mean, nice.
Yeah. We'll just go on board with Nick for the first lap of the session then. Oh no, I think he is the first driver on a lap, so he's coming through the first sector now. sweeping nicely, although very cautiously, not applying too much throttle, as the grip looks terrible, as we saw for Liam earlier. Scott now retires from the session as he has a quali ban. But Nick lifting through the sweeping left-hander. I'm not quite sure what turn it is. You're going to have to inform me on that, I'm afraid, mate. There's a lot of corners in this first sector.
Not a clue.
Yep. Oh, at least we're not pretending. But yeah, Nick coming now through the second deck, and I do know that corner coming down towards Spoon, taking a lot of that inside curb, reapplying the brake, hits all of that apex actually nicely, double upshifts to fourth and gets the throttle down with a short shift to fifth. Nick being careful, he still wasn't flat out, clearly not very comfortable with the racing conditions as they are, suggesting there's really not too much grip. Here at Suzuka, brakes again slightly awkwardly, but it's nice onto the right-hand curb for the Haas driver here. He's going to come down to that long back straight. Don't think he'll be able to grab a toe from that Red Bull in front. And he comes and does a 123.7, which is of course purple, but we don't really know how good that is. And he's gone wide, but he hasn't invalidated. So Nick now applying the brakes as well while he's driving straight. Second to third. Gets the power down quite nicely, it looks like, out of that final chicane, but he's sliding a bit, and Four-Star was on a lap ahead of him, so that was my miscalculation, but Nick goes 3/10 slower than him, so apologies for that.
Yeah, Strauss at 44.1, so a bit off the rest of the pace, but of course you're always going to find with the wet those who just simply haven't practiced it, and far more of a skill difference between the best and the worst. It really has a huge effect here.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to hop on board with Cal Cohen on the Inters coming now towards 130R. We know he'll be a good driver. I haven't seen him on track in a while, but certainly always a man to keep an eye on. Don't know how much being a reserve he would have practiced. Actually, I've just been told it's a wet race as well as a wet qualifying, so Tobes going fastest there by 0.5 But here we go, Cal Cohen next man, and he goes fastest by 0.2 over Tobes, 1:42.3. So as expected, he is right up there. Liam, the other one we pointed out, still in the pits. I guess DC and KXI both fairly big names. KXI's had a championship at one point, although he did change onto wheel, but has since been regaining his pace. DC on a slow one. His lap time going to be over 2 minutes. We'll hop on board with KXI. He's just started the middle sector.
Yep. KXI now, yeah, he's coming down the back straight off to this double left-hander, very tricky corner, and my controller's drifting, so I can't actually see his car, so bear with me. But now, oh wow, I'm just going to switch controllers. Apologies. I'll let you take over from me here.
Yeah, I think you got spooned the double left-hander, not the tight hairpin.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm spoon curved Japan.
As Nick goes fastest to 41.1 by Captain Nick.
It's the hairpin. Sorry, mate. Oh no, you're right.
And then Gio Sheen going fastest at 1:40 flat. Having to relearn everything you thought about Suzuka now. KXI third fastest. Second driver with a 1:42 flat. Just 0.5 ahead of Club PR. Aston's both doing well here for currently 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I was getting them cocky, saying I knew the track names and managed to make a mistake within about 10 seconds of my own statement. Sorry about that. Right, should be good there.
Yeah, going to hop on board with Jet, the only driver yet to set a lap. He's currently on lap.
Into Tobes. By the way, sorry to interrupt.
So here we go, Jet not right up front, goes 8th position, just ahead of his teammate here. So while I've not been looking, DC, Cold Paradox and KXI have all jumped ahead of Club PR.
We have Liam on a lap again, looking quite unstable in the Alpine. If you just want to jump over to that, I'll talk through it while you're occupied. As he's going through the first sector now, taking it much nicer, seems more comfortable as Liam, but a bit unstable on the throttle, having to back off a little bit as well. Coming through the first sector towards the first Degner now. It's looked pretty nice from Liam. He sets a 37.0, looks says it's purple on our mini-map, as he looks quite awkward through the second egner there. I think breaks a little bit more than he should be, but I believe Liam is playing
Ooh,
without a line. And
cake
size
side out. That looks like... Is that in the... No, that's on the main straight. Hang on, one of the...
Yeah.
Which driver is that?
It's KXI. He's on the main straight. He's
I'm trying to
lost
find
track
a driver
very late.
near it. Yeah,
I saw
KXI
him
out of qualifying. If I hop on board with 4-star, yeah, you can see him just there, briefly in the background. KXI lost on the exit to the last corner into the wall, and that's him out of quali. So he's stuck with his 142 flat. And if the rain calms down, then he's going to be right the way down the order with free fall or S-Dodds as he is here, as he managed to get his main PlayStation account banned till, I think it's like 2 AM this morning.
Oh, let's. I was there in the party when it happened. I'm not going to detail exactly what he did, but let's just say it would get us demonetised if I was to repeat it, as Liam does go 6/10 fastest.
Yeah, and heavily hints at the fact the rain is starting to get a little less heavy. That to have a gap that much. So Liam, a quick driver anyway, so kind of expect that as he. It's a bit of a rough exit, and now don't know what he's doing. I'm going to cutting some of the grass.
Yeah, he's having a good time. He's invalidated his lap, so definitely not another one. I think who's on next car on the lap? Is that was Nosey just starting one now, but he's managed to invalidate it before he's even really got going. There's an Aston Martin. I think that's Clerpy. I think he was on the lap. Yep, he's 3 tenths up, 3.5 tenths up. I'm going to switch over to him. He's now 5.5 tenths up as Clerpy, so looking good, but it's a little bit understeery through 108 yard. Of course, very difficult to judge because in the dry it's usually flat, completely flat, but right now it's a little bit more of a challenging obstacle for the drivers as Clerpy comes up to the line and he sets a 141.4, so improves by a lot, but only jumps ahead of the retired kit.
A big gap there between P7 and P8, 6 tenths, and even then the rest of the field quite a bit below Clerpy, so it seems that top, well I guess 2nd through 7th, that all close bunch there, just, what's that, 4 tenths separating the 6 drivers there, and I guess that's whereabouts you want to be. To show you are on the pace, we'll hop on board with Liam. Oh no, he has invalidated. Okay, we'll hop on board with Knowlesy then, the reserve, who's also invalidated, never mind.
I'll let you know Calcone is on a lap, he's coming through the final corner now.
Okay.
He was 4 second split, so let's see where it gets to E2, so still some time behind Liam.
Just beats Tobes, who Tobes also having just set a lap, and he's gone 2nd fastest, but the rest of the field starting to close up a little bit on Liam. It seems Liam set a very good lap there. And now, the other Liam. Let's go Liam and Cross Liam as the 2 names, just so we're not. I think you know. Well, you know one of them better than me. What would you call them?
Oh, I know Cross Liam relatively well as well, so we'll just go for Liam Cross and Leah. Go for Cross and Carag maybe.
Okay, Cross and Carag works. Yeah.
Cross and Carag. They're both Liam C's, so that doesn't even help either. Oh yeah, we've got a bit of a problem here. Cross is going through first sector now. I think he's on he's a 37.2. I think that might have been faster than Carag's time actually. So a battle of the Liams. But yeah, just want to have a closer look at that. I'll take a look at the sectors while you talk us through the rest of it.
Yeah, so Liam now coming through the slow corner that is not called Spoon. Seemed to be a bit of a rough exit there. Didn't use all of the track, but of course wet conditions, you're going to have less practice and you're going to be a bit less confident with the car now coming towards Spoon. A fairly clear track ahead of him, so nothing to worry about for the moment. None of that extra toe coming down this straight end of sector 2, using the curve on the outside. Seemed a lot more confident with the car there. We know he's a quick driver at the moment, seems to be driving decently. I suspect we'll see him somewhere in that, I'd say 2nd to 8 range. They're all pretty close there, so within that half second. If I had to guess, I'd stick him 4th. Remains to see as he comes through the final chicane to start rounding the final corner. Oh, as a moment there, manages to save it from crashing into the pit wall, but in the end setting up into 5th position just behind 4-star. And also Panda, thank you for the reminder, I did have the game audio turned off in OBS, so you cannot hear the cars, my apologies.
Liam Cross has gone for a little spin. Yep. Knowlesy.
Oh, and Knowlesy, yeah, he's beat Liam. Said we wanted to keep an eye on. Didn't really know what his pace was like, but yeah, Knowlesy doing Well, they jumped provisional pole, and that is, how long have we got left on the clock? 4 minutes. I assume that's accurate. Last game, if you joined mid-session, restart the countdown.
Yeah, so I think your time is just about in sync with mine. I'm looking on the stream, so I think we should be good.
DC's had a moment through, I assume they're going to want, given where he is. Somehow still got his full front wing. His tyres not going to be best pleased with him, and certainly his lap ruined for the moment.
Nosy is on another lap. I'll just have a look through that as he comes through a fake spoon curve. Now taking this quite nicely, goes up into third, and now accelerating towards the real spoon. And looking good for Nosy. A lot of guys have been lifting off the throttle quite aggressively on that little right-hand kink, but he still stays fairly close to flat. As he was about just a few hundreds up on his climb, goes into fifth gear, braking very hard. That ABS helping out a lot here. Fourth now, putting the throttle down nicely, slowly runs all the way onto that outside curve, and now he's going to come down, and let's see where he is at the end of the second sector. He's going to be 121.3, and he's 3 tenths up, so a big improvement from Nosy incoming if he can keep it tight and neat through this last chicane. Great for about 50 metres. Fourth gear through the first apex curve, climbs that second curve very nicely, and in fifth, does he have any problems with sliding? No, he's applied the throttle very well, and we're going to dip. He did lose a bit of time actually in that last sector, but he's gone 2 tenths faster on 140.087, but Carrag's on an outlap, as are many behind him.
Yeah, we've got Strauss currently 1.1 seconds up after the first 2 sectors, coming towards the line. Currently the slowest lap, but he jumps up into P13, 1.4 seconds gained. There's still not enough. I think we also just had, was that Gio Sheen?
Yes.
Yeah, he's hopped up into third place. I think he'll be pretty happy with that. I believe this is his first appearance in CRL. Certainly don't think I've seen him before. Is he? Ooh, a little bit of blocking going on there.
He was in as a reserve, but he won the first 2 races, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no,
yeah,
I wasn't here for the first 2 races.
I think he might have raced there last week, actually. I just checked the results. He was here 2 weeks ago in Brazil. If you were here for that or not.
No, I missed round 1 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, has now invalidated his current lap, so we will hop on board with someone else's. Knowles going for another one. I don't think he is, but the advantage of intermediate tyres is they don't really wear all that much. I mean, we had the interslicks in F1 that one time in, I want to say Turkey, I might be getting the track wrong. And you can just keep on doing laps and laps and laps and see. Knowles did his best lap on 4 lap odd inters. I'm sure I got on the right setting. So people can just pump out laps, practice in the wet. They know it's going to be a wet race. There's no reason not to at all, unless it's for fuel reasons. But here we go, Knowles. Not going to be a quick lap here. I guess setting himself up, saving a bit of VRS for the next lap. The moment we'll hop on board with someone else. Still 2 drivers yet to set a lap. As now, you can tell the conditions have improved as everybody has bested KXI's lap. Quite a lot of varying lap times going on. Strauss seems to be really struggling this session.
Sorry to interrupt, but Liam, I was just watching him and he has gone into the barrier. He lost his lost control on that left kink just before the first sector split, and he has lost his wing. He is definitely out of contention now. So for right now, Knowles is the one to beat, and he is on his lap. I'll just update you on his first sector.
Wait, for me, Liam's still got his wing. I know he's missing his left end plate. My bad.
Yeah, at DC. I don't know if we mentioned, but he's gone up into P3.
Yeah, I don't think I'd noticed that one, but DC one to watch out for. I don't think he's doing too wonderful this championship. Currently sitting P7, so actually not too bad. But one good result could change everything for other drivers or for him.
I said, oh wow.
There's a shocker. Tobes seems to have found a lot of pace this game.
Definitely. Oh wow, there's a big incident just at the hairpin. I think Cole Paradox had to go slowly there, possibly. But yeah, there was a McLaren and Alfa Romeo spun round. That was a Jet and of Gioshin. I'm not really sure what happened, but I saw a spun Alfa Romeo and a slow McLaren. So just wait for an update on that from the chat maybe. But for now, Tobes is the king. DC, when I said he isn't, I thought you were saying back to back. But yeah, he's not doing too bad in the championship. But yeah, he's not on another lap.
Yeah, pit lane for him. Toad's still on provisional pole, and it's looking pretty good for him at the moment. We've had Liz go Sky yet to set a lap. Another driver I don't recognise. We'll
No, I
see
think this is. Yeah.
how they do. So 1:26.4. I think they're a little bit on the slow side here. Just better them to slot into the low teens in terms of position. Actually, no, quite a bit further down than that. I think it's going to be the slowest qualifying lap of the tier. I don't know if I made a mistake. They did only set one lap, or 1:45.1. And then also Brooksy not setting a lap. I think we now just basically got Tobes on a victory lap. They do still have Liam and Nick set laps. Right of them on a good one. Nick is green actually, 4/10 green for Nick. So we'll see what that means for him, because 4/10 could do a lot. Put him easily into the top 10. Oh no, Nick's had a moment into the wall for him.
Liam was 6th up, but he's lost time and he's gone P6. Yeah, Liam had 2 big mistakes on our lap. I think otherwise he was looking really strong, but he went right at the Degners and then lost the car at the final chicane, so only P6 for one of our pre-race favourites. But that is it.
Yeah, Toby's a real surprise there. I don't know if it's the rain suits him or not, but he really seems to be one of these drivers who's gained a lot of pace and confidence with this new game, because previously I kind of would have expected him to be towards the back end of the field, but now I think back to back he's had really strong qualifying. He's taken pole position here over Knowlesy, just under a tenth. They're nearly, in fact no, it is a half second down to anyone in the rest of the field. We've got Cross and the other Liam. So anyway, to go through the order, we've got Tobes, Knowlesy, QRT Liam, DC, Geosheen, Cross Liam, DeRoy, Cold Paradox, Cal Cohen, Club PR, 4-star, Captain Nick, Jet, Strauss, KXI, Liz, the last time, Brooksy not setting time, and then we had Freefall, or S Dodds as he is here, with a qualifying ban. So we'll just see how the race all turns out.
Yeah. I have to give you a little prediction though. In Japan, overtaking is pretty difficult, and with the rain, it can't be much easier because you lose that DRS that you get on the main straight. So yeah, it might be more of strategy than more strategy and attrition than race to wheel to wheel racing. It's not inters; it's completely dry.
Huh.
I don't know if you're seeing that. I think
I've seen that. I mean, we've been told inter race, but maybe it's a dry into inters.
Yeah, I imagine so then.
Sky not looking massively sunny, but at the same time not yet any rain, so we'll see what comes. And yeah, at the moment drivers all picking the setups. As you mentioned, going to be hard to overtake, but also it's going to really matter if it starts dry and then goes into conditions during the race. Then drivers going to have to pick their strategy perfectly, because a lap difference for when you pit could make up so much time, and could cause you to jump an entire train or fall behind it, especially with DRS being enabled as well. Sorry, disabled.
Yeah, all hangs in balance. But yeah, it looks like maybe if we do go into Inders, a lot of it will be decided in the opening laps. So yeah, one to watch. A lot of hard racing to be seen. But yeah, I don't really think there are any big overtaking opportunities apart from maybe the hairpin in the straight. Obviously, I think maybe a few opportunistic moves can be made to the chicane, but it's a very tight corner, as is the rest of the track. Although just like to do a little boast. Once I made a move in sector 1, so it's not impossible.
Yeah, so last week Tobes qualified P3. This week qualified on pole, but currently only has 4 championship points. So he really has been qualifying merchant and yet to convert that to good race results. Here we go, now we're going to have the formation lap, Tobes leading us round. I think it was it him who spun while leading safety car restart at Catalonia? I can't remember, you won't know, will you?
I won't know. I think I might. Who was it? Who do you think it was?
I think it was Tobes. It was one of the kind of that group who always sit in a party together. And I think it was Tobes. It may have been 4-star actually, now I think about it.
Was it Captain Nick? I don't know.
No, it definitely wasn't Nick. Yeah, he was having an even more rough race there. But yeah, Toves leading us round. Mostly drivers starting on the medium as we got Clerpiar, 4-star, Jet, KXI, Liz and Brooksy starting on the hards. The other... Go on, I can count. The other 14 drivers starting on the medium tyres. Of course, mostly hard runners starting further back down the order. Free fall, of course, going to be a bit out of place. Didn't set a quality lap as he wasn't allowed to. But one of his favourite tracks, I suspect you'll see him moving up the field a little bit on the first lap. And of course, any instance, the only way for him is up. Gioshi, not quite sure what he's done there, but not giving himself time to warm the tyres. Which I can see him typing at the moment, so we'll see what he says. Hopefully it's not a wheel not working for him. Have to keep an eye on that.
No. And he's said a to Noon Cross.
Hmm.
So that'll be development maybe.
But also,
yeah.
I think that I wasn't looking at the screen, but I had it on the screen at the time. I think Toves just managed to, Toves spun on his outlap at the exit to Spoon. So not really what he wants to do. Well, yes, gives you a good way to warm your tyres. Toffa predicting lap 1, turn 1 chaos. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's Japan, and they're fighting for positions because it's about to rain. I think we're going to see a bit of action, but you never know, of course. Tier 2s. Is it? I can't remember where it finished in the cleanest tier rankings whenever we last had them, but I'm pretty confident it wasn't.
They're usually pretty good, although they are one of those tiers where they either get 1 report or 10 reports. So it really depends on the race on the track. So, don't know if Liam deliberately disqualifying himself, with a few drivers around that midfield taking himself out of the equation. I'll stick it on position change so we can see. Hopefully get a better camera angle. Here we go. See now the lights. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights are up. And away the drivers go. That looks to be a good start for the AlphaTauri on the inside. Nolsey, but also Liam and Mighty start straight through the middle of them. I think that's Liam up to the lead. I saw a front wing there. Liam and Nolsey go side by side. Nolsey spinning on the inside. Strauss collision with Captain Nick as Nolsey drops right the way back down to P15 possibly. Nick's going to get him as well. Yeah, Nolsey down to P16. KXI, very rough start. Easy way down as Brooksy already out of this race. No safety car given, despite all the chaos and the fact we're already down a driver. Well, I believe had the first race here today actually, so that is such a shame for them. You can see there, free for already up 4 positions as Gioshine flying down the order down to P11. Do not know what happened there. I guess he went wide on that corner. Very easy corner to go wide and to get the throttle slightly too early, especially if you're side by side as well. For the moment, Liam holding the leads over Tobes. Himself under threat from the other Liam in a Liam sandwich at the moment. And I think we might see a move into this corner. Gap down to 2/10.
Yeah, Liam really asserting himself already, 1.1 seconds ahead of Tobes, who's going to have to fight to keep up now. With Liam really on the re-wing of Tobes. Let's see what happens here coming into 130R. He's really catching up with that slipstream. Is he going to go for a move? He's pulling out to the inside. He has gone for a move as Liam and goes quite deep. Doesn't really give Tobes too much room, but that looks like a really good move from Cross Liam. And now we have a Liam 1-2 Carrag versus Cross. But with the pace of the Alpine drive, will be very interesting to see if that Merc can keep pace. But Tobes, yeah, struggling a lot, and he's now got DC to deal with and the Williams behind him.
Yeah, Strauss and Nick pitting. I assume it's one of their front wings. I saw into that lap 1, turn 1 chaos, as Toffa predicted. Brooksy, it's a shame to see a driver who, on what I think was their first race, taken out on lap 1. But still 17 drivers going round. 26 laps left to go. For now, Tobes will just be trying to do his best to not fall down the order. Race pace does seem to be his weakness for the moment, already starting to drop back from Cross Liam himself. I'd say keeping pace, if not slightly gaining on the other Liam.
Yeah, that's Cross Liam is now in that DRS range. He's pushed hard this lap clearly, although he still does have some ERS. Liam Cragg has actually saved all of his ERS. He's got 97% right now. So the Mercs had to push a little bit harder. But yeah, there was a blinding start for Liam Carragh, having raced with him for a long time. I know he's always been great off the line. And yeah, no different there. Although that incident with Knowlesy will have to, the jury's still out on that one, on whose fault it was. If it was anyone's fault, of course. But for now, Liam Carragh leads the race, but Cross is now struggling a little bit there. Gets a bit wiggly on the exit, but he stays within the second. They won't have to go rest anyway this lap. But
and a bit of fighting between Jet and Deroy. Jet successfully defending off Deroy himself, then compromised his exit and allowed 4-star to get right in his tail. His DRS now enabled. Red Bull driver porpoising a bit down the straight, as we can see. 4-star though is on the hard tyres as we've got a yellow flag out. And who's that for? That's for Liam Carragh.
He's gone. And he's been struggling at that corner the entire session, and no different for him there. He's already lost it on lap 3, and he's nearly gone again. He's completely lost the car as Carragh, and it's gone from brilliant to terrible for him in a matter of just 2 corners, really.
Yeah.
But he finds himself at the back of the field.
Right the way down to P15. His Jet's made a mistake now, and that's them side by side through Degner 1. That's not really a place you want to go side by side through. And then sorting out without any damage. I think both drivers erring on the side of caution. As the other Liam Cross team has made a mistake as well, and Toes back into the lead. Not looking good for the Liams.
Yeah, there we go. Oh well, yeah, it's gone down to P8 now, so Toes regains the lead after all that worry about the race pace, but he does have DC to deal with now, of course.
Yeah, DC, not a driver that you always want to see in your mirror. Actually, pretty clean driver from what I remember. Though a fast one. So,
yeah.
Just managing having that behind you, not getting too pressured and letting it get to you. See the order really shaking up. Strauss going onto the softs. Now that is an interesting choice. I guess the reason why most drivers started on the mediums and hard is it's just which tyre will get you to the interweather and what to do from there. This is of course assuming the information we are given is accurate. There's a chance it might not rain at all.
Yep.
And Scott's just speaking rubbish to us.
He wouldn't do that, I trust Scott. He wouldn't sabotage your stream, would he? But if you're watching, your places and admin lies in a balance, and I don't really have the power to make that call, but just pretend it does. Yeah, watching Liz as well, he's had a good start. He or she, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the Alpine driver has had a great start coming up from P16. Looked a lot, very much off the pace in the wet, but now to come into their own in the dry as getting very close to the back of Gioshin, who of course got a podium last time he raced here. Don't know, Gioshin his car is intact, and so interesting to watch that one develop.
Oh, but 4-starring, sorry to interrupt, 4-starring Cross Liam side by side here around the long right-hander and still holding it. 4-star, the end backing out, and Liam, I think, getting moved on back up into P7. Of course, you'd expect him to be the faster driver here. Put himself at a place for a mistake. We didn't see what he did, but he was on his own, no other drivers near him, so it would have been a driver error that caused him to go off. Also now just want to be getting his head down, moving up the order. Liam Carragh not done quite so much. Still P15 and 10 seconds off the back of the rest of them. Multiple mistakes by him as Deroy setting the fastest lap. Currently P4 for that driver. Then Knowlesy immediately nabbing it off him. Deroy right on the tail of Cole Paradox as Jet getting, oh no, Jet side by side with Glurpr. Liam Cross getting perfect view of the two. Glurpr in the end holding on to the P5 Jet. In P6 now, and the threat from Cross Liam hit through the Suzuka S's. And he gets it done. What a move is that? Of course, does have the tyre advantage, but nonetheless, that is not a place you often overtake. And that is very nicely done by him.
Superb. And he's already making a lot of ground up. Determined to make a mistake. This corner he's going through now, the Degner 2. I think that's where he made the mistake. He must have got a little bit oversteery out of the exit and gone around. I've done it many a time myself, and it's deceptively easy to do. He brakes very late though. There, of course, Liam Cross has just recently turned off his racing line, which is why he's down here and not up in the heights of Tier 1. But yeah, he's showing his pace and his pedigree very well. He's now closing up from Glurpr.
Yeah, just seen Captain Nick go for a spin further down the order. One of the drivers pit end of lap 1 from damaged front wings. Sorry, excuse me, but yeah, Cross Liam doing exactly what he wants to do. I mean, both Liam's made a mistake, but Cross Liam only made the one, and he's come back and he's fighting his way back into the field perfectly. Gained multiple positions and making the most of these mediums, now pressuring Clerpiard, and I think we very well may see a move here. Clerpiard braking late, perhaps going to compromise his exit. See Liam here, got 45% on his ERS. He's got his DRS as well, and I think this will be an easy move for him. Got the inside line. Forgive me, no, oh, camera angle. Half on board with the car then. Yeah, Liam straight up into P5. Now no more hard runners in front of him, which is good news for his strategy.
DC is just on the tail of Tobes. They lost a bit of time there coming out of sector 1, but yeah, he was very close on the DRS, but both of them are running quite low on ERS, especially Tobes, who's derated pretty much all the way through the lap now, so he's going to have to be careful about that. He's clearly pushed very hard to stay out in front there, and it's worked out for him with having bridged a gap of about 4.3 seconds to Cole Paradox, but yeah, it's not really the greatest planning from Tobes. We'll have to see how that develops later on in the race, but DC very much on his tail.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hop on with this train that's on the back of Cross Liam. It seems Liam, Clerpiard, Jet, 4-star and Nolsey all in a bit of a train. We've got the yellow flag there at Degner to exit. I think that would have been, yeah, Liam Craig again. So was that Nolsey with a bad exit there? I think it was. I think he dropped back a little bit. Hopping board, 4-star on the tail of Jet. Appears to be closing a little bit here. Remains to be seen, still a part of this train nonetheless. The driver's trying to get that DRS.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. DC was on the back of Tobes here, getting very close, and he just went a little bit too hot into turn 1 and very nearly took out the back of the Alfa Romeo. It was almost a disaster, really made the jump as well, but DC is very much on the offensive now, as doesn't seem to have the same problems as he did before through that corner. He's staying up very much in touch with the Alfa Romeo of Tobes. So yeah, I think we might see a move coming into the start of next lap, or maybe even before. So yeah, I want to keep your eye out for Jonathan.
Yeah, lead change looking more and more likely, though. Just the one DRS zone. There are far more places you can overtake than the one further down the order. We saw the change of position between KXI and Cal Cohen. Though those two are still fighting, judging by the gap there, but we'll keep on board with this lead battle for now. That's where the outcome of the race is going to be decided ultimately.
Just to let you know, I think Cal Cohen's disconnected. So I don't know if you have him as a friend, but I don't know how to invite someone with my friend.
I think I do, as you mentioned.
I don't think he has. No, he hasn't said anything, but maybe give him one invite for back for luck. But yeah, I think he's either has to leave or...
I'll hop on board. I'll stay on board with these battle for the main straight. There, don't want to miss the overtake for the lead while inviting another driver, and then I'll chuck him an invite. I think both drivers using DRS here. DC with his DRS, and Watch was going to get the move done in the end, right on the tail of Tobes. Nearly running onto the green stuff, not what you want to do. But this fighting, actually, surprisingly, isn't allowing Cole Paradox to catch up too much. Changing position for P6 there, actually. I'm going to hop on board with this.
Yeah,
Clerpiard and Jet, it seems like Clerpiard is coming out on top. Though their battling side by side has allowed the rest of that group to catch up. And now it's Jet under threat by 4-star. Who himself is going to have to be careful of Nolsey just behind him, really close here actually. I think Clerpiard's got quite lucky. He shed the load onto Jet, who's now going to have to watch his back. So he's 4-star now defending from Nolsey, so actually each passing the job of defending to the driver behind them. Very close here. I have to keep an eye on the time gap to the two leaders, make sure that is just a button press away to jump to them. Also looking like there might be a move to P3. Very close between Cole Paradox and Duroy. Coming down the straight towards 130R. Seems drivers are having issues with ERS management. Having too high at the moment. Certainly not what I've seen when looking at it. You want to set up the overtake, you had a good exit to the chicane, and actually Cole Paradox perfectly parking on the apex there, as it had a little moment for De Roy then. That's going to prevent him getting any moves done. We'll hop on board with the two leaders as DC this time able to pull alongside Tobes into the first corner, and as DC past Tobes and up into the lead of the race.
Yeah, great stuff from the Williams driver. I'm going to see if Tobes can
Oh,
match him now.
and what a cutback. Oh, but he hasn't done it perfectly. It's not finished just yet. Jet and Clerpiar again side by side in the first sector as Clerpiar's gone into the wall. That's his front wing gone. So much battling with the Jet in the end, ending in tears for the Aston Martin driver. He's struggling on his hot tyres and he's going to need to pit next lap. Suspect onto the soft tyres. Again, assuming there will be rain at some point. No safety car brought out, but that is catastrophic to the race of him. And we've also had Giushin spin further up as well. He's struggling on his tyres now. Is Calcoing going to want to get past? Well, he's still an AI, but he's doing pretty well given he's an AI. I'm pretty sure as part of the groups, he should be able to rejoin the race any time he needs. But it's quite funny watching a ghosted AI get stuck behind the driver with the front wing missing.
Yeah. Team orders need to take place, and oh, they're battling now.
It's a neat trick. I guess it's Clerpiar's, as far as he's concerned, it's just free DRS.
Yeah. Not that he's really going to help him, really, I think he's more concerned about getting his wing on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
As Tobes thinks at the moment, and he's just about in the DRS of DC, but of course he's a bit lower on, well, marginally lower on the DRS than the Williams. They're both derated, so there isn't too much difference. Tobes, I think, needs to have a pretty good lap now to try and stay within the Williams, because of course DC does have a very strong pace around here right now, and it's looking like a good front runner. But Tobes is holding his own very much with pole sitter. But yeah, they're staying relatively in touch for now.
And of course there is the question of whether or not we're going to have drivers on wet setups or dry setups. Is Clerpiar penalty for speed in the pit lane? That is not particularly ideal for him. Already suffering a little bit, and that's just insult to injury. Yeah, I do wonder how many of these drivers are going to be running some form of wet setup, or if they've got kind of a balance of the two, what they've gone for in the end. I think a lot of drivers will just, think, alright, it's driver part of it, let's go dry setup. But actually, if it's going to be the race finishes in rain and not starts in rain, that might be where you want to go if this is a late safety car.
Of course, when it transitions into rain, it's a bit of a dilemma, because do you want that initial pace when it's easier to overtake, or do you want to be struggling but have the track position? It's an interesting dilemma for the drivers to figure out, as DC has actually broken the DRS gap. Though Tobes, I think he's using the DRS, but he has got genuinely nothing. It's very, very tight.
I think in the end, Tobes has managed to get DRS. I'm not on board with him. I'm on board with this battle for P6, Jet, 4-star and Nolsey. Those two drivers very, very close together here. Certainly within DRS range for those two. So Forster going a little deep there, losing a little bit of ground to Jet, and I think Nolsey actually gained too much on him, so he was forced to fall back a bit. DeRoy pit in here. Good evening to you, Nathan, in the chat.
Roy on the hards, right? I'm going to say it now. I don't think there's rain.
No, I'm not sure what Scott was on about.
No, thinks he's a... Oh well, Scott, if you're listening, I'm not going to say a really word actually. I don't know what kind of body admins, but Scott, you're a nice person, and you've made our job a bit more difficult. Thank you. As we see Tobes now, again struggling a bit to stay in that DRS, but he has just about maintained the gap.
Yes.
Very much in touch.
So Nathan calling Cross Liam to be the winner here.
Interesting shout. Sorry, I was really reading a message. That wasn't rude.
Oh yeah, the Captain Nick one. I know, I'm used to seeing that. He's been supporting Captain Nick for well over a year. I think he knows him in real life because I've spoken to Captain Nick about it.
Oh, that's who's the founder?
Yeah, that's what I was just on about.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Been a while.
No,
I think I've seen since I've seen him say anything. But Nick had a spin earlier on, and actually no, he got involved in something. Lap 1 had to get a new front wing, and since then has had a spin as cold paradox going into the pit lane. And I think a lot of the medium runners are going to start to consider going into the pit lane. Yeah, it seems the track really seems to be a fan of doing the camera where it just points backwards and all you can see is the driver's head. Doesn't show you much of the action going on. So not the most useful camera angle for spectating the race. As Tobes still holding on to DC. It seems DC slightly more pace, but Tobes not letting the pressure get to him too much. And for someone who really struggles to get results, that is so nice to see the difference from him.
Oh wow, looks like Jet's gone very deep and 4-star's got on the inside of him. Jet is just about maintaining position though, but I think 4-star is going to get a long toe down through Spoon and all the way down the back straight. So, and Nosey as well in touch. So the battle for E4 very much heating up. Of course, Nosey on those aging mediums with 4-star and Jet on the hards. So I think they might have a little bit more tyre pace because Nosey a very confident driver as he showed in qualifying. Both cars derating as well, so Nosey's got the ERS as DT peels into the pits. Tobes decides to stay out. DT gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so that's bad for. So that's throwing it all into the mix a bit. As now we're going to see what's going on here. Is 4-star going to deploy his ERS? He is, but it doesn't look like he's catching enough. I think they're going to stay as they are for now on this lap, Jonathan, as DT comes out onto the hard tyres. So yeah, I really don't think there's going to be rain.
No, it seems more and more unlikely. Of course, the medium hard is the favourite strategy in the dry, and that seems to be what drivers are employing here. For the moment, Tobes holding the lead. Of course, his main rival DC making that mistake in the pit lane, and that is going to cost him quite heavily. Tobes very well may be on for a win in CRL. I think he has. I assume he's won races before. I know it's Mikoni was notorious for not winning. So was it 70 races he had? Was it 8? I can't remember. I think it was 73 or 4 races he went without winning one.
I'll do a little stat check, but he had it in his name, and then I think he did win. I think he won, and it was I think the happiest moment in home server history.
Yeah, no, I remember. It was good fun watching all the messages. So we've got someone here rooting for Liam, a fellow Mercedes driver. Liam, I think he has closed that gap down to Tobes quite a lot. Of course, being Cole Paradox behind, that gap was 3.5. Liam certainly has the pace over Tobes. So as long as he can get the overtake done fairly efficiently, Liam is likely currently the favourite to win, as we've had Tobes come into the pit lane. Liam following him in. We might see Knowlesy pit here. No, Knowlesy staying out for one more. It's getting pulled along by the DRS. Why not if you can? Give your hard tyres a bit more life. That puts Jet into the lead for the moment. 4-star Knowlesy still right in this tail. These three continuing to race. Jet fending off. Well, no, trying to get past Clerpiard before that ended in disaster for Clerpiard. Out fending off 4-star and Knowlesy, who's had a spin further back by, I believe that to be Strauss. Exit to Degner 2 yet. Again, not moving his car just yet. I'm not sure why. There we go. Strauss now getting moving. Didn't cause a safety car. I don't know if he was trying to cause one. Yeah.
I would never do that, Strauss.
Well, I was thinking that Strauss is certainly not the kind of person being with CRL long enough. So this is still going. You're better at this game than me. When can we expect the guys on mediums and hards to go for their pit stops?
What? Well, I think the medium runners, for a start, mate, I haven't played this game at all, so I wouldn't say that. But from my knowledge from previous F1 games, I'd say the medium runners should look to get in, unless they want to go really long and go for the softs. But from my knowledge on this game, that'll be pretty tricky to do. Of course, I don't really know what the tyre wear will be like. Japan, of course, quite a favorite track, so a lot of rubber gets shed off quite easily. Would you have a yellow flag? I'll let you cut to that.
So between the last 2 games, I have only played 2 laps. So you certainly are better at this game than me. I very much stick to I'm a GT7 driver.
Okay, no, I thought he'd go to. Yeah, I thought Strauss crashed, but no, he was right in the pits. So commiserations to him that his race didn't go well, but at least he didn't tarnish his brilliant reputation here. But yeah, I was going to say the medium runners will go quite long if they are looking to go for the softs, be a few more laps. But I mean, I haven't seen. Nolly.
Yeah, he's fallen off this front two, hasn't he? And actually, Liam now lining up Tobes for the net lead overtake. Actually, Founder, to answer your question, we were going to have a PC driver race, but when we tried it, there was a few lobby issues. That's why the race started a bit later than usual. Liam picking up. Oh no, other Liam picking up 3 seconds of penalties. But yeah, we were going to go cross-platform, and I think there was a PC player who was going to race today. We weren't able to get that done. There's the same Liam who's got corner cutting penalties, also got speeding in pit lane penalties. I do wonder if he's just going to retire from the race or what he's going to do. No, he's pitting for fresh hard tyres from the looks of things. He's still going to keep it moving. There's Liam, cross Liam, losing a little bit of ground to Tobes. Actually, Nolsey's regained some ground on 4-star. Then 4-star, I think, a mistake on his end. I suspect Nolsey. Oh, that's interesting. Jet and 4-star pitting. Nolsey staying out. I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe a late safety car. Same with Mr. Freefall S Dodds here. So, interesting strategy by them. Of course, the medium tyre is going to be hurting a lot now. Lizgo Sky more expected still on the hard tyres, as we see now Liam looking for the move on Tobes up the inside into turn 1, and that is for what we suspect to be net P1. And Liam now just his job is to fly away off into the distance, pull as much ground as he can and try and ditch Tobes basically as soon as possible, not make another mistake like he did earlier on in the race. Very, very good damage control by him. Also drops from first down to P8. He worked his way back up through the order. Now in strong position. So, have we got any other battles? It looks like Davory's close to Jet further down the order.
Yeah, sorry, and yeah, these guys from 7th down to 11th actually, the longest one we've had as a video of like we are, I believe was or I know it's Alpha is race versus AI's but he's not good now, so he has to run back at some point. But yeah, as I was saying, we're coming down to these now by leading to the long train, but he has got the product behind him, and Jimmy's going to have a big way.
Ooh, Roy going for a very, very brave move there. In the end, backing out, not wanting to take out Jet. So it would have been a dive bomb a bit too much in the end, backing out, losing a bit of time. And now actually under threat from 4-star behind him. He's right in his tail, got more ERS. We can see he's got DRS as well on top of that. 4-star up the inside into turn 1. What's going to happen? DeRoy, to his credit, tries to hold it around the outside, but in the end, dropping down to P10. Yeah, DC is losing ground to Liam, but also DC got 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. You see, big group here. Kexide leading it on his starting hard tyres. Cold Paradox just behind him, Jet just behind him. Force on Roy not too far behind them. So at the moment, KXI holding the lot of them up. We'll see how this all ends. Potentially end in tears. This could be the safety car that Nolsey is hoping for. Seems unlikely as we have KXI go deep. Clerpiar alongside. There is a little bit of contact there. And, no, all 5 cars are still alive and running through in order. Though this seems certainly a bit closer than I'd feel comfortable with driving in this game. These drivers far outclass me. There's Cold Paradox up the inside of KXI. And Jet also going up the inside as well. 2 drivers in 1 corner overtaking KXI. Jet, a bit slower exit than Cold Paradox, not able to get him as well. I suspect a pit stop for KXI soon.
Nolsey is going onto the soft tyre, so he's going for a big risk here.
Ooh.
He's carried out a lot of laps, and so Scott went onto the hard to previous lap, but Nolsey's trying to make him last in the soft, so I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but credit to him for making the big balls play, as he's looking to just filter out just behind this train now, as Jet has got ahead of Cold Paradox somewhat unsurprisingly, as he is on those fresh medium tyres running the alternate strategy. KXI now struggling, of course, because he's the only driver apart from Liz is the entire race getting very close. He's behind in the Red Bull. He's looking like he's trying to sweep in Keckside with a really slow minimum speed through that apex, but of course this place is very difficult to make overtakes at when you're not on a straight. So Forsyth's going to have to stay behind him. I think he's going to have to look for an opportunistic move if he wants to stay in touch with Cold Paradox, with Keckside falling quite far behind them. I really doubt he'll have the DRS by the end of this lap now. Knowles, he's flying on those softs, of course he's braking super late trying to get into that train, and he's already made enough ground. So yeah, as Kara sets the fastest lap, showing his pace.
Yeah. I reckon that a few of the hard runners still running probably going to be going for the hard soft. Not necessarily the fastest strategy, but certainly spice up the race from our point of view. The rain we were promised by Scott seemingly still not coming. The skies clearer than they were at the start. Now I'm going to keep an eye on Knowles as he's looking to get through the field. Actually, having said that, side by side through 1:30 yard goes 4-star on KXI. Going wide there on his old hard tyres in the end, conceding the position. I do wonder if we go into pit lane, this lap is going to go a little bit longer. How many laps has he got left? This is lap 19, so only 9 laps left. Oh, and there we go. Hang on, very close here between these three. DeRoy getting boxed like with a Ferrari. Knowlesy alongside him. Knowlesy on those fresh soft tyres, really not going to want to be wasting the tyres, stuck fighting people. He's far faster than in the end. No, DeRoy still not giving up. A little bit of contact there, a little bit more contact, and the two drivers both still going. Not sure how happy Knowlesy will be, but you know what, DeRoy's not spanning him to his credit. So these two still fighting away, and KXI in front of them, kind of stopping either of them going for the move. Knowlesy on the outside, and he holds it, and there we go, finally completing the move. Soft tyres, winning out against hards in the end.
That is absolutely exquisite racing, but he's lost the dot.
Knowlesy, I think he gave him a little nudge. That might be a 3-second time penalty for Knowlesy. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see if it does get reported. That won't be media reports, but to let you know at the end of this race, but Knowlesy now in clean air to try and catch up with 4-star after that incredible battle through the first sector. DeRoy showing what he can do, even if he is on the hard tyres. That is Cal Cohen once again bringing that yellow flag, really struggling here. That's him down to P15, overtaken by Liam Craig.
We have Tone very close to the back of Liam, so these two, he's fighting back now. He definitely found some pace, going to go for the inside, and he does make the move. Liam being a bit more conservative with his ERS. What I notice about, because turn 1 always looks like a place where collisions could happen, it's just people have very erratic braking patterns into there. With course of the new regulations, some might not be used to the corner because it used to be flat out, but it's a bit more risky to go into their flat now. So yeah, it's definitely a cause for concern every time you see a car overtaking there, but on the whole they've done quite well, as we have KXI in pits going onto the softs. He's definitely made those hards last long enough.
Yeah, and I've got to say, it is a huge surprise to me that Tobes was able to get past Liam, because I thought Liam had got past Tobes and was then going to walk off into the distance, and I haven't really been paying attention to the gap, whether it stayed within that DRS range or if Liam got away and has somehow made a mistake somewhere, now struggling on these tyres. But Tobes looking very strong for the win now. Nathan, I think rightfully so, had it at Liam at one point. That could have now all changed, so we've got a yellow flag caused by KXI in sector 1 there in the S's. I don't know if that was something involving Claire PR or if that's just his own doing. But on fresh softs, that should be pretty decent unless tyres weren't warmed up just yet. Is it?
Oh, Liz has gone from the lead. The provisional leader has lost his Alpine on the hard times and commiserations. I think he's going to filter straight back onto the track as a ghosted car, which can't be too
straight into the pit lane now as well, so not going to be a slow car on the main straight.
Arag has spun, I think. There's also an Alfa Romeo of Calcone as well, so Calcone after disconnecting, not throwing himself in glory.
Now, but something to point out, DC only has a 5-second penalty. As Tobes and Liam are fighting, this could be a DC win despite that penalty.
That could be incredible from DC. He has 6 laps to make up the gap, and he looks like he's doing really well. Of course, his tyres are 1 lap older, but he's showed great natural pace. So yeah, it's going to be push down at the Williams garage. But yeah, let's see how this one materializes. Of course, these guys are going to have DRS, but they're also going to be fighting. So I don't think they'll be in communication with each other. So they're going to have to try and work out a way. I'm not sure if they're both going to be aware of the threat that's posed by DC right now. So yeah, this is definitely one to watch for the last few laps.
KXI, another drive against speed in the pit lane. Is this one of the tracks that has the lower pit lane speed? So I think Silverstone's one of them, and there's another track, and I don't remember which one it is. There's a lower pit lane entry speed, and it might be catching some drivers out, but I suspect they'll do a bit of practice with that. There's Knowlesy now on Taylor, 4-star on his soft tyres, 4-star slightly older mediums. What Knowlesy can do, wants to use the fresh softs while it's still mighty quick. 4-star is going to have DRS on the straights as well. Knowlesy actually not the best exit, so 4-star much more likely to get a move done than him. Both that Honda engine, Red Bull, AlphaTauri. Red Bull hunting down the McLaren of Cole Paradox now for that P5 position. Cole Paradox, one of the earliest drivers hitting on the one-stop, mediums to the hard, so he's going to be struggling a little bit at the end, and that's a yellow flag. That is for Calcone as KXI gets past him up into P15. So points for just top 12, so ideally he's going to try and move up if he can, but such a long way off the rest of the field. But here we go, 4-star right on the tail of Cole Paradox now, almost traffic lights in terms of tyres here. Hard tyres followed by mediums, followed by softs. Sweet's driver going to have more pace than the one in front of them, and this time I think it is 4-star under threat. They're 4-star trying to get around the outside of Cole Paradox, and Knowlesy will be watching this thinking, no, I'll not be able to get past if they're blocking the track. 4-star in the end, backing out of the move, compromising his entry slightly. Knowlesy right on his tail. He's going to want the best exit possible to try and get one of them hit, but also Knowlesy very tricky to pass 4-star, while 4-star himself is still behind Cole Paradox, so perhaps going to take the pressure off 4-star to allow him to get that overtake. It depends what his strategy, what he's thinking, or if he's just racing as hard as he can, trying to gain every position he can. Seems Knowlesy is still pressuring 4-star, and that might not actually be the correct move here. Might almost make more sense to let 4-star get through, then get past Cole Paradox himself, but here we go, here's where the action's kicking off. I think there's almost certainly going to be an overtake of some sort here. AlphaTauri going to the inside, Red Bull looking to the outside, but not quite enough for 3 wide. And in the end, just Knowlesy, 4-star side by side. Cole Paradox escaping the battle. It's Knowlesy finally past 4-star, and I doubt we'll see 4-star get past him certainly for the next few laps, maybe the last couple. The softs are hurting a little bit more. Knowlesy now setting his eyes on that McLaren driver, Cole Paradox, just up ahead on the aging hard tyres.
Yeah. We seem to have a bit of fluctuation in the gap between DC and Toast.
Sorry to interrupt you. Cole Paradox has just spun at Degner too.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's completely gone there. He's gonna fall behind DeRoy as well. So those hard tyres proving a little too old for Cole Paradox to handle, and he has now he's lost the position. So now it's time for Knowlesy, if he can, to chase down Jet, but 4-star as well. It could be an advantage for him because now Knowlesy doesn't have that DRS buffer. So yeah, let's see how this one materialises. But before that happened, I was just going to say the gap between Tobes and DC is somewhat stagnated. So, but of course, I think DC's got a tiny bit of DRS in hand as compared to Tobes, who's really got nothing. Although DC is still pretty much T-rating now. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. We have a yellow flag. I think that's one of the
Liam Crack.
Yeah, he's had a wonderful race today. Sorry, Liam's my friend. I can insult him.
Yeah, but the thing to keep in mind, DC's tyres are 1 lap older, and while 1 lap is not much, that is going to be a little bit of time every single lap. So I think DC is a slightly quicker driver because that tyre difference is going to matter, and of course the pressure's going to be on him because it's, DC's got to fight for it. All Toby's got to do is just keep setting consistent laps. Although he does have to worry behind him about Liam. Though Liam himself has got Jet just behind him. I think Knowlesy probably out of it for the moment. I can't see him fighting for the win. Maybe a podium position in the end. Another win itself, as we've had a spinner further down the order. No, it was DC who spun.
Oh wow.
DC,
oh,
no front wing.
No front wing, it's a disaster, and the little chance, well, not even little, he had a big chance of winning that, as has been completely destroyed. I don't know what happened. It must have been the second deck that I was looking at Tobes' past record to see if he'd ever won before. But yeah, his chance of winning just got a lot bigger as he is now the first car on track. But he has Jet and Liam chasing him down, both with more ERS in hand. This is going to be a fantastic last 3 laps that we're coming up to, Jonathan.
Yeah, 3 laps, 3 drivers. Of course, 2 different tyre compounds between them. So really going to matter here. Now, I don't know how much Tobes and Jet are going to be working together as Cake's saying another 5 seconds of speed in the pit lane. But yeah, I mean, everything to play for. We've pretty much got our 3 guys fighting for the podium here. It's just now for them, they've got 3 laps left to make the most of what they've got. They've got themselves in this position and now they've got to fight for it. Liam, of course, we know, we've seen how fast he is. It really is going to be his to lose. I don't know if he's been preserving tyres. They've just had a bit of a drop off in pace. His 4-star and now actually got past Nolsey on the main straight there. They'll keep on board with this battle. The softs for Nolsey are going to be aging. It's just about this gap between these 3 drivers, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo. So a very good result for Alfa Romeo as long as both drivers can get to the end, no matter where they finish on the podium. I don't know where Alfa Romeo is sitting constructors-wise.
I think they are at back actually. I think
yeah, they are.
Last.
They are in last.
Yeah, they are in last. So it could be a big job of their 1-3 right now. And if Jet can get anywhere close to that Mercedes there, although those mediums, he looks like he's struggling a little bit, maybe slightly falling off the pace. But if he can stay in that DRS, everyone has a chance. But now about a 7-10 gap between the 2 of them. But of course, Liam does have that little bit of ERS in hand. Tobes with that red light flashing all the way, but Liam is deploying that ERS now. He's trying to get a slipstream, trying to get closer. Maybe trying to get the move done early, but we'll have to wait and see, of course, because I think it's probably best to time it until the last lap, until when he can really push. Because then Tobes won't really have another chance of getting back at him realistically.
Yeah, but for the moment, that gap really is staying at 6-7 tenths. Liam, unless he's saving his ERS, which he's not saving it all that much, not gaining it all that much, but getting a little bit of a run here. DRS, ERS deployed, not enough, but enough to close on Tobes. Really pile the pressure on to that driver. Tobes, he knows he's not always the best at finishing off his races, so I don't know if he's going to have that little bit of extra pressure he's putting on himself. Jet now dropping back a little bit. If he had yellow flag sector 3, I'm not sure what that's for. I think that's the laps KXI and Cal Cohen further back down the order, as that one certainly isn't. Who's that yellow for? I think it's Liam Cragg.
Okay, not a shit game. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think I've seen Tobes win here before. I know he's been around for a long time. I'm not sure. Can you recall the last time he's had
I
a
suspect he has got a win, but he spent a lot of his time in CRL towards the rear end of Tier 2. I think occasionally he had one season in Tier 3 where he probably picked up a win or 2. Oh no! Tobes wide!
No, the commentator's curse is real.
That is Tobes wide there. I don't know what happened. He just seemed to lose concentration, drift wide. That's not really a place where you go off track unless you're side by side and your tyres are killing you. In 12 of the pole halves, it's certainly not going to be at that point. So really not sure what happened to Tobes there, but not at all what he wanted. Yeah, I mean...
Liam.
Yeah, it seems Liam's going to get it at the moment. Jet not as fast as Liam. We'll see the exit there. Liam going for the fast exit out of the second part of the chicane. See, yeah, pulling out of the corner DRS. I guess Liam doesn't have DRS of his own, but starting the final lap and Tobes dropped down to 3rd position. Shame for him, but still a podium would be very, very good points for him, even if it's not the position he was hoping to get on the podium. Have to watch the speed battle, see how it unfolds on this final lap. 4-star under pressure from Nolsey, and 4-star and Tobes will be in a party together actually, as will Nick and one other who is slipping my mind at the moment. That usual group, as we've got a yellow flag for KXI, who's going into the pit lane. I don't know if they're all just pushing for the fastest lap. KXI another 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. Maybe with the guys at the back are just pushing for the fastest lap. DC getting the fastest lap in P10. At the moment, Liam still fending off Jet. The gap not really closing too much. Jet's only really remaining chance, I guess. Run down to 130R and into that final chicane. If he doesn't get it before then, he's not going to get the move done, and too far back here, missing the apex and a bit late on the throttle as well. Gaining a little bit of time, but not a DRS zone here, and I think that is going to be Liam winning the Japanese Grand Prix. Of course, still a few more corners to go, so anything can happen. We saw what happened to Toby, it could happen to Liam as well. And just Liam now rounding the final few bends. Looks like he's going to claim the victory of the Japanese Grand Prix. Liam crossing the line, getting the win just behind him, Jet. Then Tobes will be distraught for that mistake. Such a rookie mistake to make, but P3 in the end for him anyway. Best result of the season, 4-star. Knowlesy smashing his front wing as does, I think whichever lapped car that was. Oh no, it was Knowlesy, sorry. Droy next, P6. Then Cold Paradox. Scott, free-fall, whatever you want to call him, P8. Haven't got a qualifying ban here. He said he liked the track. He certainly moved up the positions. You can see here. Moved up, yeah, 10 positions for him. Let's go Sky finishing P9 points. The first time I believe we've seen the driver. So good news for them. DC, the next man, going to be P10. He was looking strong at one point. Captain Nick, despite everything that happened to him, he's going to be P11 in the end. Club PR, he's got a fairly solid lead over Geoshin, so it looks like he will be picking up the last point of the day for Aston Martin. They're only getting 1 point between both drivers. Geoshin, the last driver, not lapped.
I'll just be heading off now because I'm going to help Danny commentate Tier 1. But it's been a pleasure today, Jonathan. Great to see some performances and great racing, and hope to commentate with you again. And goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Right, so there we go. That's BT heading off to go commentate Tier 1. I don't think they've started their race just yet as Geoshin, last man to cross the line, last man not lapped in P13. In the end, Jet picking up that given driver of the day. So we'll see, here we go. So actually, yeah, no, Tier 1 is at the end of their qualifying, just having a look. But walking onto the podium, Liam claiming his victory in the end. He might not have been expecting it, but he'll be glad to be up there. Thought he was stuck behind Tobes. Everything went on in the end. Mercedes getting the win. Double podium by Alfa Romeo, but not the positions they were hoping for. I'll see if I can get podium guys in for an interview. So there we go, Liam Cross getting the win in the end. Then we're having Jet and Tobes just behind. So I'm going to set to types. There we go. I'll run through the order. So there we go. Liam getting the win, as I said, from P6 on the grid. Jet P2 went from P13, and Tobes converting his pole to a P3. Not necessarily the best he could have done, but given previously he was sitting on only, was it 4 points, and now he's going to be getting 20 points. He's increased his score by a factor of 6, so 6 times as much. Happy with that. But then 4-star, Knowlesy, DeRoy, Cold Paradox, Freefall, Lizgo Sky, DC, Captain Nick, Club PR, the last points position. Geoshin getting fastest lap in the end. Then Liam Cragg, Cal Cohen, KXI, and then Strauss DNF in part of the race. And of course Brooksy, that lap 1. Whatever happened on that one, it was chaos, a couple of front wings lost, and then Brooksy taken out of the race. Right, here we go. Okay, so it sounds like both Tobes and Liam up for joining the interview. I think I need to add both of them. So give me a second to do that. Okay, so here we go. Results sticking around for the moment, so that's good. We can leave them up there. And yeah, Jet from P13 up to P2, so very good race from him. Scotty also up 10 positions. Hopefully we get in P1 and P3 drivers join. It'll be interesting to see Tobe's perspective of what happened. Just see what Dragons put. So hopefully we will have 2 of them joining soon. And there we go, there is Tobes. Hello, hello. Oh, can't yet hear you if you are talking. Oh, you there? Right, well Tobes is in the call, but I'm yet to hear him say anything. So I don't know if that's... I heard a brief noise, but... I do not believe your mic is working, Tobes. Or whatever's going on. Yet to hear you. Oh, something got dropped. Still also waiting on Liam to join. Ah, there's Liam as well. Liam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice. Well, congrats on the win. I'm not sure if you were expecting it, given that Tobe seemed to be keeping you at a distance.
Nah, to be honest, I thought Tobes was faster than me. Once I got the DRS, I could keep with Tobes, but Tobes definitely was faster in that second stint. The first stint I felt faster, but that spin was just stupid. It's one of those spins that you spin and even before the spin, if you fucked it,
Yeah.
pardon the French. But yeah, I didn't think when I saw Tobes go off, I was like, is that intentional? Like
Yeah, it did.
it blew me away for a second.
Because it's not really a corner where you make a mistake. Well, Tobes, can you tell us what happened there, or?
Yeah, I just made a mistake. Liam was right behind me. I was sort of keeping him at arm's length, but he managed to close the gap coming out of that hairpin, and I just pushed too hard, turned in a bit late, ran wide onto the grass, and I just lifted off because I did not want to spin.
Yeah, I mean, well done for not spinning.
Just your pressure got to me.
Yeah, because I was having a look. You've only scored 4 points behind this, despite some good qualifying results. So actually, you increase your championship score by 6 times now after this race.
I always have pace, but I'm so inconsistent. I always crash out. But I just want to... DC would kill me if I didn't mention him, but I want to thank him for bottling it. He put a 5-second penalty on himself and then pushed too hard, trying to get 5 seconds ahead, and gave the win. Gave the win to me.
Yeah, well, I assume you weren't in a... I don't know who DC normally parties up with for the race.
Yeah, he was in with us, which made it even better.
Oh, he was? Alright. So no, there's your usual lot. Well, Liam, from your perspective, what was it that made you spin early on? Because there was all that battling going on. You, the other Liam, and Tobes was in the battle for a little bit before he dropped off a little bit.
On the exit of Dignity, I was just under the tunnel. On that curb on the outside, if you clip it, your car just bottoms out immediately. And I rid it for a bit, and without pulling out, I just thought, I'm just going to go full throttle. And the car immediately just went straight into the wall. And I thought, I've ruined that then. But managed to get a good recovery. I wanted to ask, on the first overtake, when I overtook Tobes the first time, I can't remember if it's lap 2 or lap 3, did I go too deep there? Because I noticed that you pulled out, and I thought I wasn't sure if there was contact.
No, you didn't touch me. I'm very cautious when people come around me because I'm not very good with no traction control on, so I'm still sort of learning to race people. So when people sort of come alongside me, I tend to leave quite a lot of space because I spin when I go offline. So no, there was nothing wrong with it. Well, I didn't notice it at the time anyway. So
yeah, as soon as it happened, I thought, that might be reported. I'm not sure about that one, but no, it's still good then.
You shouldn't have reminded me. I'll go have a look now.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Was it? I think it was Knowlesy gave KXI a little tap on the rear, and that might be a 3-second penalty for him, but he was right the way further down the order, so I'm not sure that have any effect on you guys. Is it interesting that some people didn't go for the medium hard or hard medium, but decided to try and push further and go on the softs? Did that cross your mind as a strategy, or were you fairly set in your strategies?
Every time I do a brave strategy, I get a puncture. So by now I'm just used to just going to what the game says. I've had too many punctures on this game. So nah, medium hard all the way. The softs, it says on the strategy that if you were to do 2 stints of softs and a medium, that would have been quicker. But nah, this game, never trust the strategists on this game.
Yeah.
So
Jerome's advised me to avoid using softs when I can. He says they're not as good. He's in our group and he gives us pre-race advice and setups and stuff. So he said always try medium hard. If you can make medium hard work, then stick with medium hard because the softs fade so quickly.
yeah, we saw with Nosey that look for a second like he might catch, and then all of a sudden he just drops off immediately. It was like, okay, then soft rubbish.
Yeah, so I've got to ask you guys, next week we've got Montreal, so how's that for you guys? Good track, bad track? Kind of don't really mind it too much, or where do you stand? Liam first.
Yeah, go
on. I hate that track. Hate it. That final chicane, I cannot do it right. So pace and qualifying might be all right, but as soon as the race comes, I expect myself to be in the pit lane a few too many times.
Well, I quite like Montreal. I hate Japan. That's one of my least favourite tracks.
Oh,
so
right.
even though I sort of gave away the third at the end, I honestly didn't think I'd make it through without spinning. I really don't like Japan. I never have on any of the games. And I don't mind Montreal, so fingers crossed I can do all right there as well.
Well, Liam, you mentioned the last chicane being the Wall of Champions. You are now leading the championship, so it would only seem appropriate that you do crash into it next week.
Well, I would try and fulfil.
Yeah, just make sure you let me know what lap so I can catch it on stream.
Oh, of course. Lap, let's say 29.
All right.
Just,
don't know how many laps.
just near the end.
Yeah. Make it
30, 35.
Last lap safe.
I think Leo. But Leo's still, I Leo's not with us anymore, but he's still. I think he's got 91. Might have 85. So
we'll
let Leo crash.
Yeah,
into
theoretically, if the drivers not even racing on two will have more than you. But,
yeah.
And the full-time drivers, you will be leading. So.
Beautiful. Is McConey still second? Or?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm not sure. Hang on. I'll do quick mental maths because Carl didn't finish very well. Cole Paradox was P5, but I think he's too far back because McConey actually quite a bit. In fact, no, McConey was 29 points ahead of Carl, so you were the only person who could have realistically given him a big jump. So I think McConey is still your next closest rival when you were only sitting 13 points behind him. So that puts you 17 ahead of him now.
Oh, okay. So, I might not even make it to Montreal then. If Leo's the one, we got, like the admin said, McConey has to be in the lead. So
yeah, otherwise you get moved.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm on thin ice right now.
But yeah, no. Unless you guys have anything else to say, I think I will let you go and celebrate your win and your podium. And yeah, best of luck for next week.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Cheers. See you all next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
Bye.
Right, so there we go. That concluding the interviews. Tobes still in good spirits. I guess that's the result of, despite making that mistake, kind of accepted, it's his fault and he did well to not spin, and especially not being a good track for him, not being a driver who's necessarily the best in races. I think he'll be definitely happy with the P3. But for now, I am going to end the stream. Recommend you all go and watch the Tier 1 race. I've already stuck the link in the chat a while back. I'll stick it in the description. It'll only pop up if you refresh the page. But from me, that is going to be a goodbye till next week at Montreal, the Canada Grand Prix.